Welcome to the Book Review Podcast. We've got an interesting one today. It's called The Art of Laziness by Library Mindset. Now, the title might make you chuckle or maybe even squirm a bit, depending on your to-do list.
Right, it's definitely a title that grabs your attention.
But this isn't really a guide on, how to perfect your couch potato skills. It's more in the self-help productivity mindset genre. And the key themes, well, they're about tackling inaction, really understanding our limited time, avoiding future regret, and maybe finding some purpose through practical techniques and mindset shifts. So why dive into a book called The Art of Laziness? Well, because it gets at something a lot of us struggle with, that feeling of not quite living the life we want, maybe because of procrastination or comfort or fear. Let's unpack it.
And the book jumps right in, doesn't waste any time. Starts with a pretty stark reminder about time itself.
Yeah, it hits you with that perspective right away. Average life expectancy, around 72 years.
Which sounds like a lot, maybe. But then it breaks it down. That's only about 3,700 weeks.
Exactly. And then it says, if you're, say, 30 years old,
you've already lived through 1,500 of those weeks. Gone.
It kind of stops you in your tracks.
It really does. And it's not just throwing numbers out there. The book uses it to immediately ask, you directly, are you making the best use of this time? Are you doing things you actually love with people you love?
And that finite time connects straight to the idea of regret, doesn't it? The cost of not acting.
Absolutely. It paints this picture of like being 80 and looking back with regrets. Things like
I'm doing what you really wanted to do.
Or wasting so much time on things like, social media scrolling, endless TV. We all know those traps.
Neglecting health, family, working a job that felt meaningless.
Yeah, these aren't small things.
Yeah.
They're the potential cost of just drifting,
Yeah.
of inaction. The book really pushes you to stop making excuses.
And start asking questions instead.
Right. Challenging questions about your choices.
And it calls out one excuse in particular, waiting for the perfect time, calls it the worst excuse.
Because, as it says so clearly, there is no perfect time.
The best time is now.
Exactly. For anything, really.
Yeah.
Traveling, starting that business, going to the gym, delaying just builds up that potential regret. Time is running out.
So the whole point really is awareness. How your day-to-day actions impact that future self, that future potential for regret. It's trying to shake you out of being lazy, essentially.
And it structures this whole argument in two parts. First, the mindset shifts you need.
And then the practical tips and techniques. Makes sense. You need the right mindset first.
And the first mindset it tackles is, it's a big one. 100% responsibility.
Wow, it doesn't hold back here. It quotes Churchill, the price of greatness is responsibility.
The core idea is that blaming others, your boss, your situation, whatever, it's useless.
Worse than useless, actually. The book says it feels good for a second, lets your mind off the hook.
Like saying, I can't do anything about it.
But that's wrong. It keeps you stuck.
Blaming just doesn't solve the problem. If you don't have time to exercise, blaming your schedule doesn't create time. You have to take responsibility, find the time, make the time, action.
It's got that kind of tough love feel. It says nobody cares if you're lazy or procrastinate. That's on you.
It's your problem to solve, basically, for yourself.
Because our default mode is often the easy path, right? The TV over the run, social media over reading that challenging book.
Blaming is just easier than facing the problem and doing something. And the book really hammers home your present actions. They're literally building your future.
So learn from the past, sure, but don't live there.
Learn the lesson, but don't repeat the mistake. It bluntly says, don't be stupid. Don't fear mistakes so much you do nothing, but don't love them either. Learn fast, move on.
The book lists these harsh truths. If you're lazy, unhappy, procrastinating, that's your responsibility. You gain nothing by avoiding it. Complaining doesn't help.
Action is the only way forward.
Right on.
Which brings in that great proverb.
The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Captures that urgency perfectly.
And if you are taking action, mistakes are guaranteed. They're part of it.
So don't fear them. Jump into the unknown, it says. Success isn't about never messing up.
It's about not making the same mistake twice. Learning.
There's a practical tip in there too from Epictetus. Stick to your business.
Yeah.
Focus on what you can actually control.
Yeah, don't waste energy worrying about stuff that doesn't affect you or things you can't change, like maybe what other people think. Trust yourself.
And the bottom line of this whole responsibility thing is pretty stark. Nobody is coming to save you.
You have to be the one to change your own life. Stop depending on others or circumstances.
It tells that story, the fable of the farmer and the sparrow. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah. The farmer keeps putting off the harvest. My sons will do it. The neighbors will help.
And the sparrow in the field isn't worried. But then,
The moment the farmer says, okay, I'm going to do it myself tomorrow, the sparrow knows it's time to get her chicks out of there. Immediately.
because self-reliance means action, dependence means delay.
Exactly. And the book links this to how people approach life. Most never start. Some start, but quit when it gets cuffs.
And then there's the tiny percentage, the 1%, who just keep going. They see it as a marathon.
And that persistence comes from controlling what you can control, your mind, your effort, and letting go of what you can't.
Like other people's opinions or external events. Worrying about the uncontrollable just makes you miserable.
The rule it gives is simple. Can you control it? Then act. Can't control it? Don't worry. Worry solved nothing there.
Which flows right into the next big obstacle it identifies. The comfort zone.
Ah, the comfort zone. So cozy. So dangerous, according to the book.
Because real growth rarely happens there. Easy things feel good momentarily, but they don't lead anywhere meaningful.
And deep down, the book suggests you kind of know when you're just coasting, wasting time, you feel it.
But pushing past that discomfort, even just starting something new, that brings a real sense of accomplishment.
It uses that quote, a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there.
And when you do step out, the advice is keep it simple. Don't overthink. Just start.
Focus on the doing, not just the end result right away.
Your first plan probably won't be perfect anyway.
Right, you'll need to adjust. Speed is important, not just working fast, but starting fast. It mentions Jeff Bezos' idea.
Making decisions with like 70% of the information.
Yeah, because waiting for 90% or 100% is just too slow. You learn by doing and adjusting.
And if you want different results, you probably need to think differently. It quotes Patton, basically saying, if everyone's thinking alike, someone isn't thinking.
Doing the same old thing or what everyone else does won't get you somewhere new.
Okay, so you're stepping out, you're acting. How do you direct that? The book says, set clear goals.
And, crucially, make them possible, especially at first. And measurable. Be healthy isn't a goal.
Right. Lose 2 kilograms in 1 month. That's clear. You know if you hit it or not.
Yeah.
Needs measurement, needs a time frame.
It recommends actually writing them down on paper.
Old school, but effective. Seeing them daily keeps them top of mind. Creates a bit of productive guilt if you're slacking off.
Better than getting lost in some complicated app. Sometimes. Pen and paper works.
And all this ties back to that recurring theme. You will regret it later.
That little nagging feeling when you know you should be doing something else. The book says that's your subconscious knowing you're choosing laziness over growth.
It's that constant battle. Short-term pleasure versus long-term satisfaction.
Laziness gives you that quick dopamine, hit the easy option, the distraction, but it adds up to future regret. You need to delay gratification sometimes.
Make sacrifices now for what you want later. Find that balance between enjoying today and building tomorrow.
And achieving those future goals often involves taking risk.
You have to jump from comfort to discomfort. The book argues the regret of not taking a chance is often way bigger than the regret of trying and maybe failing.
Taking risks feels scary, of course.
Yeah.
But it quotes Mark Zuckerberg, in a fast-changing world, the only thing guaranteed to fail is not taking any risks.
Standing still is the biggest risk.
Yeah.
Then there's an interesting mindset shift. No good, no bad.
This is a really powerful reframe. Instead of instantly labeling things, oh, this is terrible or this is great, just observe.
Because sometimes seemingly bad things lead to good outcomes down the line.
It uses that famous story of the farmer whose horse runs away.
Right. Bad luck. Then the horse comes back with wild horses. Good luck.
Then his son breaks his leg taming one. Bad luck. But then the army comes to conscript soldiers, and the son is spared because of the broken leg. Good luck.
And the farmer's response to everything is just, maybe.
Exactly. It shows how uncertain outcomes are and how our immediate judgment can be wrong. It helps you weather the ups and downs without getting thrown off course emotionally.
Which you'll need, because achieving anything worthwhile requires self-discipline.
The book frames it using that Jim Rohn quote. We must all suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
Discipline is choosing the hard thing, now getting up early, doing the workout, tackling the tough project for a better future.
And the simple test is, will I regret not doing this later? If yes, then discipline kicks in. Do it now.
Seth Godin's definition is good too. Discipline is just executing your ideas, doing the thing.
And the enemy of discipline, procrastination, which loves excuses.
Especially waiting for the right time.
which, as we said, never comes. You have to push through obstacles, not use them as excuses.
Procrastination is also fundamentally about failing to delay gratification, choosing easy now over better later.
And laziness is kind of unique because it ruins both the present, you're doing low-value stuff and probably feel vaguely bad about it, and the future through regret.
Which is why do it now is such a core message.
Yeah, no magic hacks. It quotes Picasso, only put off until tomorrow what you are willing to die having left undone.
Wow. That's intense, but it makes the point, if it matters, start now, figure it out.
And failure will happen when you act. The book tells the story of the king,
The one who lost his kingdom was fleeing, trapped.
and he remembers the message under his ring. This too shall pass.
Reading it calmed him down, gave him perspective, and eventually things changed. He regained his kingdom.
The point being, tough times don't last. But neither do triumphant times. So don't let failure stop you. Learn, adapt, keep going. These things are temporary.
Okay, so assuming you're acting, you're disciplined. The next question is, are you working on the right things?
This is huge. Are you just busy, or are you busy doing something that actually matters? Doing stuff that shouldn't be done at all is the ultimate waste.
The book suggests sometimes feeling lazy is actually a signal that you're working on the wrong thing, something meaningless to you.
It mentions artists like Michelangelo or Da Vinci. Their drive came from passion, from working on what mattered deeply to them. If you don't choose your work, someone or something else will choose it for you.
And work you hate just feels like a burden. Hard to be motivated then.
So it quotes Steve Jobs again. Love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. Listen to that inner voice.
But loving your work doesn't mean it's always easy.
Absolutely not. The book points to Van Gogh, intense dedication, but also immense struggle. Passion gets you started. Discipline keeps you going through the hard parts.
And since you have limited time and energy, you have to prioritize.
Yes. Focus on the vital few tasks. Less is often more. Trying to do everything leads to exhaustion and mediocre results.
Doing lots of easy, unimportant tasks can just be a way to avoid the big, scary, important ones. Still procrastination, really.
There's also this idea of attract, not chase. Focus on becoming better, doing great work, and opportunities will tend to come to you.
And underpinning all of this is belief in yourself. The book simply says, you are great.
Stop the negative self-talk. It's poison. Confidence is crucial for taking responsibility and stepping out of your comfort zone. Don't be your own enemy. You are great. Start doing.
Then it tackles perfectionism.
Right. Perfectionism isn't always bad. It gives us beautiful art, amazing products. Think Da Vinci, Steve Jobs again.
But it shouldn't be the default. You need to know when good enough is actually good enough.
And definitely don't use it as an excuse to avoid starting or finishing. That's just laziness in disguise.
It mentions making quick decisions for reversible things.
Yeah, don't agonize over something you can easily undo. Save the deep thought for the big, irreversible stuff.
And embrace, done is better than perfect. Otherwise, you get overwhelmed by the details and never actually produce anything.
Which ties into a really strong call in the book. Don't be mediocre.
It frames it as a daily choice. Greatness takes effort, struggle. Mediocrity takes nothing.
Don't settle for less than what you truly want. It brings back that Steve Jobs quote about work filling your life. If your work isn't great, a large part of your life feels off. Keep looking.
Why do people settle? Maybe surrounding themselves with mediocre people who drag them down, letting those childhood dreams fade.
The book suggests many people just drift, lacking energy or purpose. It urges you to think bigger. Avoid that regret at 80. You still have time.
And if you don't like something, your job, your friends, your thinking, change it. You have the power. Greatness is harder, yes, but worth it.
Next up, it tackles the myth of multitasking.
We feel productive juggling things, but are we really?
Usually not. The book uses the NASA Mars orbiter example, lost because of a simple unit conversion error. A failure of focus, of attention to detail, likely exacerbated by trying to manage too many things.
Multitasking makes you less efficient, tires you out faster, increases errors.
The devil really is in the details. Plus, it's stressful.
So the tips are straightforward. Focus on one task. Remove distractions. Turn off notifications.
Focus is key for important work, for getting into that flow state. Interruptions are killer.
They're like the Trojan horse, sneak in and destroy your productivity from the inside. It takes ages to get back on track.
It also mentions taking a short nap if you're genuinely tired. Rest isn't procrastination.
And if you're not multitasking, you have to prioritize the most important thing.
Identify those high-value tasks, the 20% that gives 80% of the results, and focus there. Doing less important stuff first is procrastination.
Usually because the important stuff is harder.
Exactly. Which is why a daily routine is so crucial.
Relying on motivation alone doesn't work. It comes and goes.
A routine provides structure, ensures the important things get done consistently. John C. Maxwell, you'll never change your life until you change something you do daily.
It frees up mental energy, too. You're not deciding what to do next all the time. Review your days, see where time actually goes.
It gives Tolstoy's routine, as an example, very structured. Early wake up, walk, writing blocks, nap, focused work.
The point isn't to copy Tolstoy exactly, but to build your routine.
And about waking up time, choose what makes you productive for your future self, not just what feels comfortable now.
There's that interesting suggestion to sit alone for 5-10 minutes daily, Pascal's idea.
Yeah, just quiet reflection, gain clarity, unplugged.
And again, eliminate all distractions. Be ruthless. They cost so much focus.
Including deleting those time-wasting apps. Social media black holes, addictive games. Be honest about what they are.
You can always reinstall if you really need it, right? But try living without them. Could save hours.
And to protect that focus time, you have to learn to say no.
This is hard for many people, saying yes just to please others.
But your time and energy are finite. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to your own goals. You lose yourself.
Learn to say no politely but firmly. Your time is valuable. Listen too much to others, no time left for you.
If you're saying yes to everything, maybe you don't have clear goals of your own. Then others will push you around. Seneca's quote about needing a destination port.
The book also clarifies things with don't work 24/7.
Right, the goal isn't burnout, it's efficiency. Get the important work done faster so you have more free time.
That Sahil Bloom quote is sharp. 20 years from now, only your kids will remember you worked late. Ouch.
Exactly. Productivity is about results, not hours logged. Long hours can be ego, or again, avoiding the hard stuff by doing easy, busy work.
Life is short. Enjoy it now, too. Don't postpone everything.
It's about less is half. More focus on high-value work. If you're working tons with no results, maybe you're not working smart or on the right things.
Be productive, not busy. Climbing the wrong ladder, as Covey said. Work on your dreams.
Which loops back perfectly to don't wait.
Still the main excuse for laziness. Waiting for the right time. Which
never happens. You have to start today.
And don't confuse this impatience for action with impatience for results. Be patient with results.
Yes, but impatient with action. Do the work daily. Success doesn't come from waiting.
The bamboo tree story illustrates this perfectly.
Right. 4 years of watering, seemingly nothing happens. Then boom, massive growth in year 5. But those first 4 years of consistent action were essential.
And the Zen student asking how fast he can master Zen.
The teacher says, if you want to go faster, it will take longer. You control the actions, not the timing of the results. Be impatient doing, patient waiting.
So, no perfect time. Start now.
And consistency is key. Daily effort over time. That's the secret sauce.
Starting is often the hardest. Musashi. Everything is difficult at first. Breaking habits takes initial force.
But it will get easy, or easier at least, with practice.
And related to consistency. Do what you say. Build trust with yourself. If you say you'll go to the gym, go. Stop just saying.
Another huge factor. Surround yourself with the right people.
Jim Rohn. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Their habits rub off.
It's hard not to be influenced. Be aware. If your circle pulls you down, you might need to change your circle, or at least limit exposure. They shape your thinking.
Close the window that hurt you. Reduce time with negative people.
And don't take advice from everyone, especially not from people whose lives you wouldn't want.
Unhappy people giving happiness advice. No thanks. Alex Ramosi. If they don't have what you want, don't listen to what they say. Live your own life.
The book also addresses worry directly. Don't worry.
Worry loves lazy people, it says. Nothing else to occupy the mind. Often comes from lack of self-belief.
And the cure for worry. Action. Worried about health. Act. Thinking about it does nothing.
Classify worries again. Controllable. Act. Uncontrollable.
Don't worry. Fretting about an asteroid hitting Earth. Pointless. Seize your happiness now.
So the rule. If controllable, act immediately. If uncontrollable, consciously choose not to worry. No worry needed either way.
A very practical tip follows. Do the hard thing first.
The cold water doesn't get warmer if you jump late. Just tackle the most daunting task on your list right away.
We naturally avoid discomfort. Excuses hide this avoidance. But the hard tasks are usually the important ones.
And that harsh truth again. Hard choices. Easy life. Easy choices. hard life. Laziness now makes life harder later. Discipline now makes life easier later.
Do what you need to. This isn't always what you feel like doing. Life rewards tackling challenges. They get easier.
And don't use balanced life as an excuse for laziness. Balance is vital. Yes, sleep, family, but often we can handle more than we think.
Push those imaginary walls a bit. A little imbalance for a big goal can be powerful. You can always pull back. Don't let balance become procrastination.
To help with this, picture your future self.
Yeah, when feeling lazy, contrast future regret with future achievement. Your habits today create that future self. Decide your habits.
The book also covers delegate.
You can't do it all. Not enough time. If you want to do big things, you need help. Delegate lower value tasks.
Outsourcing can be cheap, frees you up for your core work or things you actually want to do. List tasks, time, cost.
Even if someone does it 90% as well, the time saved might be worth it. Don't let ego stop you.
And the last mindset bit, how to learn anything faster.
Focus on useful knowledge, things that improve your life, help your goals.
And learn with urgency. Start now. Speed in starting is key.
Interestingly, on speed reading, it quotes Naval Ravikant. If you can speed read it, it isn't worth reading.
Meaning great books need slow, careful attention.
Exactly. Read more by spending more time reading quality material, not just skimming faster. Depth over speed. Variety, too.
Okay, wow. That covers a lot of the mindset shifts in part one. Then part two gets into those practical tips and techniques.
Yeah, it offers a bunch, many flowing directly from the mindset stuff. Things like planning, goals, the 80-20 rule.
Let's touch on a few key ones. The 80-20 rule, Pareto principle.
Super important. Roughly 20% of your actions give 80% of your results. Identify that 20% and focus your energy there. Work smarter, not just harder. Avoid busy work.
Parkinson's law.
Work expands to fill the time available. So give yourself shorter deadlines to force focus and efficiency. Use the law to your advantage.
It briefly mentions 8 Japanese techniques, too.
Yeah, things like Ikigai, purpose, Kaizen, 1% daily improvement, Shoshin, beginner's mind, Hara Hachigu, eat till 80% full, Shinrin-yoku, nature time, Wabi-sabi, imperfect beauty, Ganbaru, patience, Gammon, perseverance, a mix of philosophy and practical habits.
And that daily exercise, 10 minutes before you sleep.
Crucial. Reflect. What did I achieve? Where did I waste time, hour by hour? Plan. Short, key tasks for tomorrow. Builds massive awareness.
The 3 arrows concept sounds useful too.
Just focus on 3 main high-value tasks per day. Avoids overwhelm, ensures the important stuff gets done. Ruthless prioritization.
Then there are 10 tiny habits.
Things like moving your body, eating well for energy, having purpose, drinking water, good company, taking risks, not overloading, no multitasking, eliminating distractions, sense of urgency. Small things add up.
Pomodoro technique.
Work in focus bursts, like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Short breaks, 5 minutes. Adjust timings as needed. Rest helps focus.
And the 5-minute rule?
If it takes less than 5 minutes, do it now. Don't let small stuff pile up. Benjamin Franklin's small leak sinks ship idea. Just get it done. And the 2-day rule for consistency.
Right. Never miss a habit 2 days in a row. Miss one day, fine. Get back on track the next day. Prevents habits from breaking completely. Consistency is everything.
The book ends with a final plea. Wake up.
A call to action. Time's running out. Be aware. Change your actions. Change your results. The life you want is on the other side of laziness. Live now.
And don't live by others' expectations. That farmer and donkey story, trying to please everyone. You end up pleasing no one and looking foolish.
Do what you want. It's your life.
Exactly. Your life, like the book, will end. Travel, read, spend time with people you choose. Start living intentionally.
So, wrapping up this deep dive into the art of laziness, if you're not consciously choosing how you live, if you're letting laziness or others' opinions run the show,
then the question the book really leaves you wrestling with is, whose life are you actually living?
Thanks for listening to the Book Review Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a comment. See you next time.